got a new button, way more customization, sweet new tricks, and something so cool that'll completely blow your mind. The iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max are packed with the most pro features, and I got the best tips and tricks. Let's go. Alright, let's get started with the pro tricks that everyone's just gotta know. For the first one, inside Safari, if you're busy browsing a website and then go into these options over here, you'll find something called Hide Distracting Items. Now, check this out. If you tap anywhere on the website, like this annoying ad, and select hide, poof, that ad will literally vanish out of existence. Like, this is insane. And it works with just about any website. So whether that's Google, YouTube, or even Reddit, you can just get rid of entire sections. So you got a much less distracting web page. For the second pro trick, on your Mac, you'll now find something called iPhone mirroring. And if you open this up, bam, you now have total control over your iPhone, but from your Mac. So you can literally navigate around your phone using your mouse cursor, open apps, take notes, edit your contact card, or even play games like Pac-Man if you want. And what's really cool about this is that your phone's screen won't actually show what you're doing. So it looks as though nothing is happening, but you're actually on your phone. Just make sure your Mac is on the latest Sequoia update and it should work instantly. Then for the third pro trick, if you turn on your torch, you'll now notice this new torch visual. And you can control the torch brightness by swiping up and down like before, but you can also control its beam by swiping left or right. What's crazy is this actually changes the torch's size, focusing that light to make the center beam brighter. I mean, it's pretty freaking crazy that a phone can even do this. But that's not even the craziest trick you can do with this iPhone. Just wait till you see the last trick and keep him for the end. For now, let's move on to something that'll completely change the way your photos look. Okay, so if you open up the camera, in here you'll find something brand new, and it's this button called Styles. At first, when you swipe through them, they might look like regular filters for your photos and videos, but man, these are way more advanced. So basically, each one of these filters have this pad over here that you can use to adjust two things. So first, if you swipe up or down, you'll change the brightness of your photo or video. And second, if you swipe left or right, you'll change the color. Then you might have also noticed this little slider that you can use to adjust the intensity of the style. And as you can see, each style can make a pretty big difference with your shot. Like you can get something a bit more classy that's black and white, something a bit more retro and luminous, or even a nostalgic feel with this cozy style. And what I really like is if you don't like the way a style looks on any of your photos or videos, then you can go and edit that. So you'll find styles in here as well. Then you can just change things up to any one of your photos right from here at any point. And once you're done editing your photos or videos, if you tap on these three dots, here you'll find copy edits. And in here, if you choose to specifically copy that style's options, you can then go back to your main gallery and select a few other photos or videos, tap on those three dots again and paste those edits. And what this will do is take that style you just created on that pic and paste it on every single other pic you just selected. So that was camera styles, but now there's also what I like to call home styles. Okay, now giving your iPhone a custom style starts with the control panel, because here you might have noticed that it got a brand new look. So you can now press this plus button to edit all of these icons. Like you can move them around to any way you want, remove any icons if you want, and even resize them. But you can also add a bunch of new controls, like this shortcut control that you can set to open any app you want. You can literally choose from your entire list of apps already installed on your phone, like Pac-Man for example. And now anytime you swipe down on the control panel and tap that app, it instantly opens up in a couple of seconds, and I freaking love this. As you can imagine, you can get so many different control panel styles, like you can get this icon design, a kind of list design, or even an entire tile design. Another little customization trick is if you now tap on any app, you can use this require Face ID option to lock that app. So the only way anyone is getting into that app is with your face. But for even better customization, make sure you've set up a cool wallpaper, because if you now tap and hold down on your home screen and click this edit button, you'll see customization. And over here, you can switch to tinted app icons and finally change the color to anything. But the trick here is to actually use the color picker and to tap anywhere on your wallpaper so you can color match your icons perfectly to your wallpaper. You can also choose between a large or small style, which I personally prefer the large. It removes the text. And because you can now move icons to anywhere on the screen, you can get some really cool styles and designs that really let your wallpaper shine. Like, these are just a few styles that I came up with, but you guys can go absolutely wild and do just about anything now. And because you can now finally customize the home screen and theme, the right case color and design can actually make a massive difference. And I've actually got some sick cases for these iPhones. Like this clear case with gray accents that pair perfectly with this home screen design. Or if soft touch silicone is more your thing, there's 5 different colors to pick from and they just feel so good. There's even this super tough rugged case that actually comes in 8 different colors, and if you're wondering where all these bad boys are from, they're actually ESR's brand new iPhone 16 cases. And you guys know me, I love some cool features, and these cases come with 3. Firstly, they have this hidden stand around the camera for propping up your iPhone in landscape or portrait mode. Secondly, they've got MagSafe that's actually 2 times stronger than Apple's cases. It's actually insane how strong they are, so accessories like power banks and wallets literally feel like they're glued on. And because it's also thin, it actually charges faster than most other cases. And thirdly, it can save your phone from a drop as high as 11 feet. Like, that's as high as 2 people. And if you want to protect your phone even more, ESR have these screen protectors that is legit the easiest screen protector I have ever installed. It's actually nuts how easy it was. So if you want to protect your new phone in style, check out the link below. But now let's move on to this new button. So I'm sure you may have heard about this button already, and this over here is the camera control, and here's how you use it. So if you give it a hard press, straight away it opens up the camera, and if you hard press again, it snaps a photo. Then if you hard press and hold down, it'll start recording a video, and as long as you're holding down, the iPhone will keep on filming. And what's great is all this still works in selfie mode as well. So you can either switch to the selfie camera and use the camera control with it, or better yet, you can use the main cameras. Because the camera control is on the side now, you can take selfies a lot easier. But you can also light press it. A single light press will bring up the zoom control, and you can zoom in and out by just swiping left to zoom in or right to zoom out. There's also the double light press that brings up more camera controls. And there's a few different ones you can go into, like styles, where again, if you just swipe to the left or right, you can change through different styles. And honestly, the more you start using the camera control, it grows on you, because it does start to feel like you're taking professional pics. I have noticed that you can accidentally press it depending on how you hold your phone, but here's how you can actually fix that. Now, what you have to do is inside your settings, if you go to accessibility settings, if you scroll down a bit, you'll see this new option called camera control. And in here, make sure you change from default to firmer. You can also scroll down a bit more and change it to a much slower press, so that now when you have to take a photo, you'll have to press the camera control a bit harder to bring up the controls. So this way, you won't have any more accidental taps when shooting vertically. So that's how you solve that. But another trick you can do is if you go into the camera settings and then into camera control, here you can actually change what the camera control does. There's a couple different choices like the code scanner. So if you wanted to, instead of opening up the camera, you can open up the code scanner and quickly scan any QR codes around you on the fly, which can come in really handy. Or if you wanted to, you could even choose Instagram. So if you click the control button, it opens Instagram stories where you could instantly share anything you want. Then before I show you what you can do with this upgraded camera, you've got to see this first. Okay, so of course we've all used maps before, but now you can do a really cool trick with it. All you gotta do is type out exactly where it is you wanna go, or you can just tap anywhere on the map. Then select this direction button and change from driving to walking. Now, if you swipe down, you'll see this create custom route option. And what you can do is once you select it, if you tap anywhere else on the map, that'll add a point as an extra spot you need to go past. So let's say you go sightseeing or hiking. Well, now you can just add your points directly on maps and it'll have you sorted. There's a few other things this comes with too, like picking a reverse, out and back, or closed loop route. So a reverse route basically switches your start and end points. An out and back route is if you want to start and end at the exact same place. And a closed loop route makes it that you walk back a different way in a loop. kind of cool. And now that you've got everything mapped out, let's move on to camera. Okay, now this will literally blow you guys away. If you open up the camera and switch to video mode, in here you can turn on 4K just like before, but if you tap the frame rate a few times, you'll see that the 16 Pro comes with 120 frames per second. So if you record any of your videos in 4K at 120 frames per second, if you then open that video up in Photos, then tap the edit button, you'll see this brand new speed icon that allows you to change the frame rate back down to any one of these other options. And you can still use these handles to adjust where in your video you'd actually like to turn it into slow motion. This way, you can get some super smooth and slow video at a crispy 4K resolution, which is insane a phone can even do this. But what makes this phone even more pro is it actually has 4 different microphones. But there's actually a really good reason why. So let's say you just filmed a video. If you open that up and again click on the edit icon, you'll now see this new audio mix feature. And in here, you can now change between the different type of sound quality you want the video to have, like cinematic, for example. It also has this slider over here that you can use to erase or adjust any noise in the background of your video so that you can hear your voice only. It's literally like magic. But now, let's move on to photos. Now, the first trick you've got to know is how to take 48 megapixel photos. Because by default, when you take a pic, it only takes it in 24 megapixels. Why it does this, I have no idea why. But anyway, to change that, if you go into settings, then into your camera settings, over here you'll see formats. And make sure you turn on Pro RAW and resolution control. Because now, when you go back into your camera, you'll notice this new button over here that you can turn on and off to switch between 24 megapixels and 48. So now if you take a photo and open it up, then go to the info section, you'll see 48 megapixels, which means you get a higher quality shot, and when you zoom in, there's a lot more detail. But one more thing I suggest you turn on is back inside your camera settings and formats. In this Pro default option over here, change from this to JPEG XL lossless. And basically what this does is when you take 48 megapixel photos, it keeps their quality as high as possible, but their size smaller, so you can take way more of them. Then you might have noticed this brand new camera mode over here called Spatial. And when you're in the mode, you'll also notice this toggle between photo or video. And when you go to actually shoot something, it might seem like nothing's different. But what is actually happening is the iPhone is using both cameras and combining them into one that you can then see in 3D using something like the Vision Pros. So I mean, that is really cool if you want to save some 3D memories. But now let me show you some actions. Okay, so this has got to be one of my favorite tricks. Inside your settings, if you go to the action button and swipe all the way to the right-hand side till you see shortcuts, in here you'll notice you can pick from a bunch of different shortcuts. But one of my favorite ones is unlocking your car. So if you just press the action button, bam, your car will unlock. I mean, your iPhone 16 Pro is basically like your car key now. Or if you wanted to, you could even set the shortcut to open an app like ChatGPT, for example. This way, you can still hold down the side button and use Siri, or better yet, you can hold down the action button and use ChatGPT for more advanced questions like, give me an iPhone fact.
The iPhone was almost called the iPad before Apple switched the names.
So that's really cool, but it may not be as cool as Apple Intelligence. So make sure you subscribe to see that, because we're also on the road to 3 million, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Toodles!